The storm on Alara 7 didn't just howl, it screamed. Red dust tore across the barren plateau, grinding against the hull of the wrecked survey ship Ares 12. The only survivor still breathing was Elias Vance, a human ex-combat engineer turned explorer. He had crawled out from the twisted remains of the ship hours ago, dragging his survival kit behind him. His left leg throbbed, the knee braced with scrap metal and tape.
His comms were dead.
And that's when he heard it, a humming sound, rhythmic and unnatural, carried by the storm. He raised his rifle instinctively. Through the dust, a figure appeared, tall, armored, and glowing faintly blue. The armor shimmered like liquid mercury, covered in deep cracks that pulsed with dim light. The alien collapsed at his feet. Elias dropped his rifle and knelt beside her. Hey, stay with me." Her voice came through a broken translator, the words fractured but pleading. "Do not let them take the core." Then she passed out. Elias dragged her under the remains of a collapsed wing and sealed a makeshift shelter. The alien's armor emitted faint heat, keeping the air inside warm. The plates were organic, like skin plated with metal. Cracks ran across her chest and shoulder, oozing faint streams of luminescent fluid. His engineer instincts kicked in. He'd seen armor before, but nothing alive like this. Middle, the repair. When she awoke, her eyes glowed faint violet, focused on him with fierce distrust. "Where am I?" she asked, her voice smoother now through the translator chip. "You crashed," Elias said calmly. "You'd be dead if I hadn't dragged you in here." She sat up slowly. The armor shifted and pulsed like muscle. "You touched my armor?" "I had to," Elias replied. "It's bleeding. I'm trying to fix it." Her eyes narrowed. "You can't. You're not." He cut her off, holding up his kit. "I'm an engineer, not a miracle worker, but I've kept worse alive." She studied him for a long, silent moment. Then, reluctantly, she nodded. "Then be gentle." Elias froze. She had whispered it so quietly that he wasn't sure if the translator glitched or if she had truly said it that way, softly, almost shyly. "I'll try," he muttered, focusing again. The repair process was like surgery. The armor resisted his tools, almost as if it felt pain. Every time he touched a cracked section, it tightened, trembling, reacting to his presence. "This isn't just metal, is it?" he murmured. Her lips curved into a faint, bitter smile.
"No.
It's part of me, the Xeran symbiont. Our armor is born with us. It feeds from us, feels through us." Elias hesitated. "Then how do I fix it without hurting you?" Her eyes closed. "You can't, but pain is better than death." He exhaled slowly and began his work, sealing cracks with heat patches, injecting bonding gel into ruptured veins of energy. The armor's lights flickered with every touch, like the pulse of a heartbeat. At one point, he reached near her chest plate, where the largest fracture spread. "Careful," she whispered again. Her hand brushed his wrist, warm and trembling. "That place, it's connected to my core. One mistake and—" Her breath hitched. "I got it," Elias said softly. "Trust me." For a long minute, the storm outside faded into silence. Only the hum of her armor and his slow, steady movements filled the air. When he sealed the final crack, the light under her armor steadied. She exhaled a shaky breath, like she'd been holding it for hours. Elias leaned back, exhausted, hands shaking.
"Done."
"You'll live." She stared at him with unreadable eyes, alien, but not distant. No human has ever touched Xeran armor and lived. It rejects her kind. "Guess I'm special," he said with a tired grin. Her lips twitched. "Or foolish." "Middle, the bond." Hours passed. The storm outside eased, revealing twin moons hanging above the dunes. Inside the shelter, they shared ration bars, though she refused his water, producing a vial of her own crystalline liquid. Her name, she finally said, was Vera, captain of the Ziran Vanguard. She'd been shot down while trying to protect our refugee convoy. "And you?" she asked, her tone curious now. "Elias Vance. I fix things that explode before they're supposed to." "Human humor," she mused, tilting her head. "You hide pain with jest." He chuckled softly. "Maybe. But I also hide intelligence with it." She smiled faintly, the first real smile he'd seen. Then, unexpectedly, her armor flared blue. "What's happening?" Elias asked, stepping back. Her eyes widened in alarm. "The symbiont, it's responding to you." "Responding? Why?" She looked almost afraid. "It's never done that before. Your touch, your repairs, it imprinted something. It's recognizing you." "Recognizing me?" Elias repeated, frowning. Vera's voice dropped to a whisper. "As its caretaker." The implications hit him like a thunderbolt. The armor, her living armor, had bonded with him. "That's not good, is it?" he asked cautiously. She met his gaze, conflicted. "It shouldn't be possible. Only a mate can share the bond." Elias blinked. "A mate?" She nodded slowly, her cheeks darkening with bioluminescent blush. "The armor thinks you are mine." He swallowed hard. "Well, that's awkward." But deep down, something else stirred, a strange, instinctive pull when he looked at her. He'd felt it during the repair, an unspoken connection that now hummed faintly between them. "Don't worry," he said softly. "I'll break the bond once we reach your people." Vera turned away. "You can't. Once made, the link only ends in death." Middle, the threat. Their fragile peace shattered when the sky lit up. 3 dark shapes broke through the clouds, drones, sleek and deadly, scanning the wreckage below. Vera grabbed her weapon. "They found us." Hunters, scavengers who served the traders. Elias checked his sidearm. "How many?"
3.
"Maybe more." "Then let's make them regret that." They took positions, Elias setting up a charge near the wreck's edge. Vera crouched beside him. Her armor shimmered, forming a protective shield that pulsed in sync with his own heartbeat. He noticed it and frowned. "It's sinking to me again." She didn't look at him. "Then use it. The symbiont trusts you now, don't let it down." The first drone descended, weapons glowing. Elias triggered the charge, sending a shockwave that knocked one out of the air. Vera launched forward, her blade slicing through another in a flash of blue light. The third drone opened fire, plasma bolts slicing through the air. Elias dove to cover her, returning fire with precision. A bolt grazed his shoulder, searing flesh. Vera turned instantly, fury in her eyes. Her armor's glow surged, brighter, almost alive, and a blast of energy erupted from her chestplate, annihilating the last drone. When the smoke cleared, Elias was on one knee, panting. Vera rushed to him, placing her hand over his wound. The armor rippled, extending toward him, sealing the burn with its energy. "What are you?" he began. "Sharing the bond," she said softly. "It heals you because it sees you as part of me." Elias stared at the faint glow spreading over his skin. "That's insane." She smiled faintly. "It's love, human. The armor doesn't know logic, only loyalty." Ending the choice. By dawn, the sky had cleared. Vera's distress beacon finally activated, broadcasting to her fleet. "They'll be here within an hour," she said quietly. Elias nodded, though something heavy sat in his chest.
"Good.
You'll be safe." "And you." He shrugged. I'll head back to my own base. Patch up what's left of Ares 12. She turned to face him fully. The bond won't let you leave. He frowned. You keep saying that like it's fate. For my kind, it is. Silence stretched between them. The storm had left everything quiet, just the wind and their breathing. Finally, she stepped closer, her voice trembling. When you touched my armor, it accepted you. It shared my heartbeat. You saw me, not as a warrior, but as a person. I cannot unfeel that. Elias swallowed hard. Vera. She reached up, tracing the burn mark that remained faintly glowing on his shoulder. The symbiont marked you. You carry my essence now. He smiled gently. Guess that makes us even. You saved my life. No, she whispered, eyes glistening. You changed it. The roar of incoming engines echoed in the distance. Xeran rescue ships, sleek and silver, breaking the clouds. Vera looked at them, then back at him. They will not understand. They'll see you as a trespasser, maybe even an invader. Then tell them the truth, he said quietly. Tell them I fixed your armor. She smiled sadly. And that you touched my heart. The first ship landed, dust swirling. Soldiers stepped out, weapons lowered in respect. They saluted her, their queen's daughter, the lost captain. Vera turned back once more. If I let them take me, the bond will weaken. You'll feel the pull fade, but not vanish. He nodded. I'll manage. As she stepped toward the rescue team, the armor shimmered, a tendril of light extending toward him one last time, brushing against his hand. He felt warmth, not physical, but something deeper, imprinted in his soul. Be gentle, Elias. Her voice echoed in his mind. It's not just metal. Then she was gone, rising into the sky. Epilogue: The Whisper in the Workshop. Months later, back on a human outpost, Elias sat in his workshop repairing a damaged exosuit. Every time his hand brushed the tools, the faint glow on his shoulder pulsed softly, blue and alive. Sometimes, when the room was quiet, he swore he heard her voice again, carried in the hum of electricity. Be gentle. And every time he fixed something, a broken hull, a burnt wire, a cracked plate, he smiled softly. Because he wasn't just fixing metal anymore. He was remembering her.